At the end of the day, I'm gonna say this: I have no loyalty but to myself, and I mean, my loyalty to self extends beyond self. I'm not a selfish person. My loyalty extends to those outside of self that are um fucking goddamn supportive of self. If you're not supportive of self, then I can't be supportive of you. Period. That's, you know what I'm saying, in relationship to, if you can't see the bigger picture, then we not gonna motherfucking goddamn see eye to eye. So at the end of the day, I'm a supporter of what's true. And see, a lot of human beings don't really want to understand the fact that we are social animals and we need healthy inner subjective relationships in order to survive as a species. That we, by our very nature, need to socialize. We need healthy socialization. Unhealthy socialization, or socializing. I don't know why the fuck I gotta put an H in everything. But unhealthy socializing leads to unhealthy interpersonal relationships that lead to unhealthy interpersonal behavioral patterns or traits. So it's you're in a catch 22. You have a desire to be social, but you don't. You also have a desire to maintain health, and that if you if you forgo one for the other, then one is sacrificed. And I choose motherfucking goddamn to find solace in self. But I realize that the world is bigger than just self. You know what I'm saying? Or in small crowds or whatever. That still my small crowd or my small group has to depend upon the larger group as a whole. So at the end of the day, I am open to help anybody that's willing to help themselves in relationship to helping the whole. But if you're gonna be a detriment in relationship to self, to the whole, then I ain't gonna fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of where I'm at. Where I have been. I pretty much am a fucking pariah in my fucking goddamn community, and I don't necessarily care that I'm a pariah. That's what I am. I'm a pariah. You know what I'm saying? People either want to spend an exorbitant amount of time with me or no time at all. And when we spend a lot of time together, it's generally unproductive. Like, I have a lot of people who talk big game. We want to do this and we want to do that, but when it's time to actually do it, no one wants to do it. So I have gone, and I appreciate that because it makes me more self-reliant. That I have to depend upon self. Like, it's like the music industry in LA. I have literally, and I have to take my own responsibility, and then there's other faults outside of the individual industry itself. But those things compound it. You know what I'm saying? Compounded. The individual, the personal issues, the family issues were compounded by the lack of support that you get within the artist community within LA. The artist community in LA is not very supportive. It, it's generally people who are not natives who are the most supportive in our artist industry and gain the most support because they create a um, uh, uh, a subculture within our artist culture. They create a culture of outsiders within our culture and utilize. And I'm not condemning them in any way, for form or fashion for this, because they utilize our access to the national stage in order to get themselves, to make themselves a national presence, and they should do that. And the fact that people in LA are not utilizing their position in being one of the world's premier venue in relationship to developing a national and an international platform is their fault. That if any underground or hip hop commercial industry should have the most visible platform, nationally and internationally, it should be Los Angeles. Right, and it has been between the South and New York, primarily with one exception, and when Los Angeles dominated, West Coast rap dominated the national and international platform, and we should have continued to dominate both the international and national platforms. We stopped doing it because of the lack of cohesion within the group, the artist community within California, within Los Angeles. Not California, but within Los Angeles. Because Oakland still has a pretty strong collective, a group mentality as far as their industry is concerned. Matter of fact, Oakland is far, higher on the international and national fucking platform than we are in Los Angeles. Both their underground and fucking commercial is far more successful and far more has a far higher status than ours does. You know what I'm saying? It's like West Coast artists are like, look at TDE. You got Kendrick, who is the highest on that platform. Is the highest on the international national platform in relationship to that entire group. Though they all have, and it's not Kendrick's fault, it's not their fault. It's just the mentality in Los Angeles, where like we have standouts. You know what I'm saying? And where our entire fucking, crew doesn't fucking necessarily come with that standout. Shit, you can use Tyler, Tyler the Creator in relationship to our future. And then when one stands out, it tends to cause a backlash within the larger group, and then there's this disabling, factor that occurs within the larger group, and the group starts to disband and start doing other things, and that key person still sits at the top, totally separated from everybody else that he originally did music with. And I can see some causes for it. You know what I'm saying? LA, and I'm not saying this from a color standpoint, I'm not saying that from a hood standpoint, I'm saying this from a traditional black standpoint, has a crab in the barrel mentality. Los Angeles has one of the most serious crab you see one nigga getting up, you instead of deciding you want to motherfucking help that nigga get up, you want to grab that nigga and pull him down as quickly as you possibly can. And I have been to many cities in this country, you know what I'm saying? Black hotspots in this country, and have seen how black people interact within other fucking communities, and it's not how we interact within our community. And I have to stress and it trickles down to hip hop, the way we do hip hop, the way we do rap, where we should literally be the premier underground hip hop scene nationally and internationally, and we're not. And a lot of cats instead of motherfucking accepting the fact that we're not and doing something about it, motherfuckers want to get angry and point fingers at those that point out the fact that we're not doing what we should do. And they want to be angry. And they want to be angry when people say, hey, dude, I kind of want to separate myself from this community altogether. I don't want to have shit to do with it. I try to as much as I do because I've been here. I grew up in this community. I'm a part of this community. But this community is so ostracizing that at some point in time, you're just like, well, fuck it. My psychological health is far more important than it. And then if you want to point it out, the actual problems that occur within this actual community with that that exist, motherfuckers don't want to hear it. You hate it. You know what I'm saying? It's not hating. It's like these are key problems with the LA fucking goddamn underground hip hop scene that need to be addressed. But then we're like, okay, it's the individualization. I'm an individual, bro. I'm only thinking about my individual career, and my individual career is doing such and such and such and such. Okay, that's great. You are individually a success. But think about how more successful you would be if your entire fucking actual market was successful. If your entire venue was successful, how more successful you would be. How much more viewers and fucking Patreons and fans you would attract if your venue itself was far more successful than it actually is. And the more successful your venue is, the more successful you're going to be. The more cohesive it is. And it's like, people don't want to hear that. That's the bad guy in LA. The bad guy is the guy who's telling you how fucked up shit is. The good guy is the guy smiling in your face, telling you shit is all good. It's all great. We're all just groovy. You know, you're doing well. I'm doing okay. So we're all doing okay. That Dr. Spock shit, and I can't stand Dr. Spock in psychology. So you know how I feel about that shit. So I mean, that's just where I'm at as far as you know what I'm saying. Our community is concerned. You know what I'm saying? The underground LA community. I mean, I have as much fucking love for it, I think, as anybody else does. I want to see it go on. I would love to do music with, you know what I'm saying, niggas within this community. But I've, and again, I will take the responsibility for my part in it. You know what I'm saying? That I have been like standoffish. I am kind of a pariah minded individual. I've become comfortable in that, you know, um, exclusion. You know what I'm saying? Excluding myself in that hermit fucking thing where, yeah, I show up at a function every now and then, like, you know, I'm here, but I'm not talking to you motherfuckers. I admit that. I'm standoffish, and I can admit that. But I'm also very fucking skilled. I know I can rap. You know what I'm saying? I know fucking that. Even in relationship to the fucking uh, um, quagmire that we find ourselves in LA. And that's not even quagmire because we are in a quagmire. Though we find ourselves in a rock and a hard place all the time. But that's not what I really wanted to use. But this stagnation. I can even propel us beyond the stagnation. You know what I'm saying? I got new shit. But that means I gotta go in the studio. And I know like Willie Bobo and a couple of other motherfucking producers would allow me to come in and fucking do some shit. And I've done some shit with them niggas. I don't want to exclude the producers that I've worked with in LA. But I've done a lot of shit with niggas in LA that I ain't never heard motherfucking none of that shit. I ain't never heard it again. You know what I'm saying? We done done shit. I've been like, oh, that was fire, nigga. And nothing got done with it. You know? And I guess I've adapted that kind of mentality because I left my shit in Atlanta. Niggas got my shit in Atlanta and started fucking taking my shit around. So I got my shit in Atlanta and started using my shit and stuff. And, you know, that was my fault for giving that nigga that dad. But you know, I shouldn't have gave the nigga the dad. I shouldn't have trusted him like that. But I did, and that's what happens. So I've made mistakes. You know what I'm saying? As far as my own musical career is concerned, I'm not blaming my lack of career on anyone except for me. And the way in which I've, you know what I'm saying, accepted or not accepted, you know, my particular role in this community as being like, you know, I see myself as being kind of like the pariah. I'm that nigga that niggas don't really want to fuck with, who will fuck with just to kind of fuck with. And that's cool, you know what I'm saying? Again, you are what you are, you know what I'm saying? You do what you do. But at the end of the day, I want to see this industry, I want to see this community be as successful as it possibly can. I want to see motherfuckers achieve what I know they can achieve. You know what I'm saying? International stardom. And I know it's a lot of niggas who have been putting in work as long as I've been in this fucking goddamn community who actually deserve more than what they're getting. I mean, they deserve it. I believe that. Not trying to undermine what they've accomplished. I'm just saying in relationship to what they could have accomplished and what their actual potential is, they haven't accomplished what they could accomplish. And I don't want to undermine your accomplishments. I'm just saying that as a unit, we could accomplish so much more if we had been more unified minded. Okay, I'm gonna post this shit